triple G. Brace yourself for the things you'll see. From comic books to toys and more, and all cartoons that we adore. Pop culture, flicks and geeky stuff. We love it all and can't get enough. So settle in and enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe before you go.
How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your ginger jolly geek. I am joined as ever by my good pal Andy. Andy, how are you, sir?
I am absolutely fabulous. I've just about recovered from London, but we'll go into that in a bit more detail.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough.
My throat's getting, but that's another story actually.
Yeah. Don't talk about how throat. No, it's good to have you. We are back for another episode of Rusty Staples. Our fortnightly show where we talk all things comic books, comic news, do a few reviews, and so on. And we've got some interesting. But Andy, before we get into the show, can I just do a plea to you and to the collected? What do we call our viewers? The collected comic.
The Rustilites.
The Rustilites. The Rusties. I like that.
We'll work on it.
Can we just do a plea? We've been asking them what books we should read and review. I'm kind of dystopian, miserable, fucked off future out. I want something a bit Care Bears, something a bit more light, please.
I had to up my dosage over the last few episodes, to be honest with you. I need something a little bit light-hearted. I'm thoroughly depressed. I
mean, we did Watchmen, which was, it's a superb book, but it's not a happy tale. And then we did Batman Dark Knight Returns, again, dystopian future, everybody's shit, awful, great story. And then we've done V for Vendetta. That wasn't a laugh a minute, was it? Let's be honest.
It wasn't something that our brain doesn't really have to think, because I felt, I felt exhausted after it.
I was knackered after the first issue. But yeah, we'll get to that. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got, he's back. Chris Bell has got, and look at that little face. Look at that lush. We've got Chris is back. Nice to see you, Chris. Bing bong, Belly's back, bitches. Absolutely. Nice to see you, Chris. We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Wagwan brothers. Is that how you say it? Wagwan. I get it wrong every time. You do it, Andy. You do it. How do you say that?
Wagwan, brother.
Okay, that's it. That's the one. This has fast become my favourite show. So more of the same, please. Don't cock it up. We cannot guarantee that, Fuzzy. Have you seen me and Andy? We can't guarantee that.
Too late.
We've got Terry. Nice to see you, Terry. Hope you're well. Hello, sexy Northerners. Nice to see you too, Wayne. We've got Super Sorrel. Hey guys, let's do this. Good to see you, Sorrel. We've got Jack. Nice to see you, Jack. Hope you're well. And we've got hello, friends. Miss you too, mate. Miss you too. I had a cracking time with Ed. We've got Fuzzy saying, favourite toast topping. Had to one for another week, Fuzzy. We've got one for this week. But I have to say I'm with Ed. It's butter, isn't it? Just butter. Just salted butter.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. We've got Andrew. Hey, look, it's a show that had me trolling eBay for the past few weeks. Good stuff, Andrew. Glad we are of service. Ooh, cheese with a splash of Henderson's. Henderson's the same as Worcester sauce, Chris. Is that? Yeah, I think. The enlightened
He's next door neighbour.
Oh God, yeah. Fuzzy thinks they should be called the enlightened ones. I like that. The new month of Playboy is a good read. Good stuff, Wayne. Thank you. Got Stephen. Nice to see you, Stephen. Noddy meets Paddington Bear. Is there one? For a read. That's a good one. We could try that. I had that. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And we've got Mr. Keegan. Heyo. Good to see you. It's not the same. It's superior. I'm going to have to check that out. Okay. So we are back for another episode of Rusty Staples. We've got loads of interesting stuff to get through. But Andy, it's tradition now. Before we get to what we're here to do, talk comic books. We normally pose a question to the chat. Fuzzy's mentioned toast toppings there. We'll do that another time. But we came up with another one when we were out on the drink a few nights ago. What did we decide we were going to talk about today?
We did, yeah. First of all, we got 2 more shows than I expected to this, so we're on a 3rd show, which is fantastic. So, tap the back to start off with. But yes, we had a bit of an argument behind the scenes, guys, about this. Like, I wanted to go with this one, Peter wanted to go with a different one, but we're going to go with favourite desserts. Work your magic, chat.
Favourite dessert. Favourite dessert, chat. Favourite dessert. Andy, what's your favourite dessert, sir?
So, I'm a bit of a...
hang on. Fuzzy is playing with himself.
Play by himself.
Playing with himself.
Play by. I'd like to think of myself as a bit of a dessert connoisseur, as you were.
Okay.
I'm going to go with it's really difficult to get a really good one, but a nice creme brulee. Anybody? Just really crack the sugar topping and lovely inside goo.
I mean, yeah, you've let us down. I mean, a creme brulee, that's actually what I had. That's the dessert we had for our wedding, which is why it's got like a bitter taste.
But I was going to go with a bounty cake, but then I'd have been scorned off a few
dirty bastard. I don't mind a creme brulee. I don't mind a creme brulee. I'm going to go... So first off, custard. Proper custard is like delicious with the little flecks of vanilla in it. So I like a nice custard. But as a side, I have to go for a key lime pie with ginger biscuits, really tart. It's the kind when you eat it, you kind of go, Do you know what I mean? That
draws your insides it.
It does. Or a lemon meringue. I'm quite partial to it. I like the tart desserts. Do you know what I mean? I do like the tart desserts. So you're not a chocolate-based dessert kind of guy?
No. I'll stick with my creme brulee, and it leaves because creme brulees can be quite small. It sort of leaves room for the likes of a little cheese board. Are you partial to a cheese board?
Oh, I like a cheese. Now we're talking. I like a cheese board. I do like a cheese board. But yeah, let's see what the chat are saying. Fuzzy's sticking with bread, cold butter on burnt toast. If I was having toast, Fuzzy, that's exactly what I would have. Cold toast as well. I don't like hot toast.
See, I'm the same because I don't like my butter melted on my toast.
Yeah, exactly. I like a good inch thick slab of butter on my toast. Do you know what I mean?
I like a good crunch.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of peanut butters and things like that. I'd rather just have standard butter. This show is fucking weird. Wayne is going for just jelly and custard. I don't know why, Wayne, but that doesn't surprise us.
On toast? That's weird.
On toast.
But wait a minute. Actually, it works.
Yeah. Chris is a thinking man. He needs more context. Where am I? What did I eat? What season is it? Let's just go for tonight. Tonight, what is the dessert you're having tonight? Wayne, creme brulee is nice.
Yes, Wayne.
Ed, pretty much anything apple-based, but especially apples. Well, I like an apple strudel with vanilla ice cream. I wouldn't go for one of those apple pies from McDonald's because it's like hotter than the sun.
Yeah, it's lava.
Yeah, I don't like them, Ed. But a nice apple pie is nice. I'm too old to say Milky Bar ice cream, so lemon meringue pie. Andrew, it's a good one. Lemon meringue pie is a classic. Banoffee. I knew Keegan would want his fingers in some kind of sticky banana. Do you know what I mean? He eats it by the fistful. I would imagine.
So many things that I could say there, but
but I have to say I do like a banoffee as well. And Knickerbocker Glory. See, Terry's old
with
school.
The big massive spoons.
Yeah, Terry's old school, isn't he? Knickerbocker. That's our favourite party dessert. If we're having people around for dinner, we've got some of those Knickerbocker Glory glasses in the long spoons, and we basically just fill the table with like little dishes of different chocolate sprinkles and marshmallows and bits of crunchy and stuff and different ice creams, and people just yeah. Oh, a Viennetta. Gino Ginelli toffee fudge. I used to love Gino Ginelli toffee. I don't think you can get it anymore, Fuzzy. Can you still get Gino Ginelli toffee fudge ice cream?
Can you still get Viennetta? Like, you remember when the crunch when you went through all the layers? And
I was never a massive fan of a Viennetta, but I could now these days I could polish off mint Viennetta in one sitting. I just eat it like an ice cream bar.
You don't even need a spoon anymore. You just lift it up and right in your face.
Tutti frutti, tutti frutti. Wayne's.
Yes, you are, Ed. Yes,
You are, Ed. You absolutely. Wayne's used to prison food. A banoffee tart. Nice, nice. Chris, given the heat at present, it would be a very cold piece of New York cheesecake with a small curl of real vanilla ice cream. Yeah, that would be good. Chris is where it's at.
Like, would you do the things that the chefs do, where you get the 2 spoons, you slightly heat them up,
I think you'll
scoop
find
it,
out that's called a quenelle. A quenelle. Just you know. But yes, I would, because I'm very, very posh. And it would have to be proper vanilla ice cream with flecks of vanilla all the way through it. An Eton Mess, I am a fan of Eton Mess. Deacon's mom's nickname coming out there. Wow.
Somebody scroll up to see what he's referring to.
I think he's talking about Eton Mess. My missus says a barra brith. What's that?
I'm intrigued.
Andrew, I don't know what that is, mate. Tell me in the comments what that is. I've never heard of a barra
Sounds quite
brith.
Scottish.
It does sound Scottish. It does sound Scottish. Probably something deep fried, I would imagine, if it's Scottish. A waffle thin mint. Love that scene. Love that scene from Monty Python, isn't it? I do like the dime bar cake. Yeah, that's a nice one as well. If I'm watching telly, 4 chalk ices.
Do you have do you get like the chalk ices and put them together and put something in the middle?
Yeah, it's just like a massive chalk ice. Like, is that what you're talking about? Like a
bar.
A huge chalk ice. A huge chalk ice. I am quite partial these days. If you go to Aldi or any reputable supermarket, they do kind of cookie sandwiches. So it's like 2 cookies with ice cream in the middle. They're quite nice. He's not, Fuzzy's confirmed, he's not an animal. He has them individually. To make it go full circle, I did have toast for pudding the other day. Oh,
what?
Yeah. Bar a bit of Welsh fruit bread, and she's not happy you thought it was Scottish. We do apologise.
Another female that's not happy with Andy. join the queue. Sorry.
Right. Shall we move on and talk a little bit
about show? Sorry,
we have comics and stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Oh. As Fuzzy would say, cock off.
Cock off. I'm not doing this shit anymore. This is where Rusty Staples Trade Up Challenge. Before we say how we've done this week, has anybody in the chat taken part? Has anybody managed to sell and move up? Anybody done it? Do you remember them frozen strawberry... Fuzzy's still talking desserts. Do you remember those frozen strawberry mousses used to get in the 80s? I don't think I do. Do you remember them, Andy?
I was born in 82, so
were you
in the ballpark? Yeah.
I just assumed you were older than me.
Is it?
I'm half English, half Scottish, and live in Wales, so I make mistakes like that constantly. God. The community has shown not to be kind to me. Nobody wants to pay me for that breakfast with bastards. I'm out. Lemon sorbet in a lemon abroad. Nice. Yeah, I like them. Yeah, Chris, I think I'm with you, mate. So, Andy, I'm not going to lie. Andy, I can't lie to you. You've got too honest of a face. I haven't actually attempted to sell my things. The effort involved was too much.
Peter,
I've been busy this week.
Peter, I can't lie to you either, but I just genuinely can't be arsed.
See, I'm with you. Let's abandon that. Fuzzy says, round tubs and 2 inches thick cardboard top. Beautiful. That sounds nice. James, traded my dignity for £20 last weekend. Yeah, James. Luckily, your dad was there to lend you 20 quid, wasn't he? Yeah, so it's a lot of effort. So I think what I'm going to do is just give money to the charity instead. I will try and sell.
I'm not giving money to charity. Never mind that bollocks. Yeah. I'm just out.
We have had a chat, haven't we? And we've decided we are going to try and relaunch our yearly, if not more often than yearly, charity event again. So when are we going to be doing that?
So what we've basically done, guys, is we've taken all the pressure off us and put it onto you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. No, we are planning on the 21st of November, which is the week after Thought Bubble, to do a charity show. And I think what we're going to do every couple of weeks is, between myself and Peter, we're going to be buying stuff to put towards the charity auction, as it were. and we're hoping that some of you guys maybe want to donate stuff. And even if you don't, that's great. If you just want to be a part of the show on the 21st, and we're going to reach out to just some people that we know. If there's anybody watching this that wants to touch base with myself or Peter and wants to donate something to put towards it, it doesn't necessarily have to be cash. It could be a book or a toy or whatever. And I think we haven't chosen the charity this year, but we do want to have it sort of closely linked to a mental health charity, just like we did the first time, because I think that's something that's close to both of us and to everybody, I guess, to a certain extent. So, yeah, that's the plan.
Absolutely. So if you've got any suggestions for mental health related charities that you would like to support, please start sending them to me and Andy, and we'll start compiling them, and we'll have a bit of a vote nearer the time. It'll be exactly the same format as we did last year, where we'll get some donations in and we'll auction them off on a live show or something like that. And last year, I can't remember how much we made. It was $2,500 or something.
Yeah, no, done really well last year. It was great the way everybody came together, made donations and then just joined on the night. So yeah, and remember, it's just a bit of fun, guys. This was meant to be a bit of fun. It turned out just to be a little bit more difficult and a little bit more challenging than we thought the trade up challenge was going to be. It was in the name. But hopefully this will be a little bit easier on everybody.
Chris, I've got a fabulous book with less than a page from it. Funny, Chris, I've got two Invincible mini bag things as well. We've got James Mack. Nice to see you, James. I can donate some stuff for good stuff, mate. I love Charity Night, Modern Age, Smashing and Nicey. Do a lot of work for charity. Do you know who Smashing Nicey are?
Yeah, I am aware. Yeah, I didn't recognise them from that really bad impersonation you done, but sure, let's move on.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, MJ, thank you very much, bud. There's some money to start off. Very kind of you. Very kind of you, James. Thank you very much. And he's got a spreadsheet where he's keeping a track of all of the donations we get towards the charity. So I do appreciate that. Next, we've got I've got a slide for it, our ABC team, which is where myself and Andy pull together what we think is the best team based on a letter of the alphabet. This week, we've gone for B. Andy's pinched two of my characters there, I see. But Andy.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Who is this motley bunch of characters you've gone for this week?
Sorry,
just before you say that, sorry, my apologies. In the chat, guys, if you are designing a team based on the letter B, 4 characters, who would that be? Please stick them in the chat, and we'll come to them and we'll tell you why our teams are better. Andy, who have you gone for?
As I look at this team, I'm quite annoyed I didn't put Banana Man, but let's move on.
Eric is Banana Man.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's start off with last week's team. Our good friend ChatGPT suggested that I was the winner, Peter. Now, I know that I told you about this in London. You kicked off, literally wrecked the Weatherspoons because of it.
Yeah, bollocks. Yeah.
But I believe that's now 1-1 when it comes. Not that this is a competition.
I mean, I've not seen any proof of this, and I don't know what you're submitting to ChatGPT.
Do you think I would lie, Peter?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, just the one. But no, my team for the letter B starts off with the fantastic Black Adam. Now,
who I talked about 2 weeks ago, didn't I?
I know, that's what gave me the idea, and I know it'd really annoy you if I put him on my team, but you're welcome. So I must admit, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but as a comic character, I think he is probably one of the best from DC. He obviously gets his powers from the Egyptian gods, which I think is pretty cool. And he's went up against the likes of Superman and Shazam. So he's the muscle, I think, in my team. Next up, I went for Battle Beast. And I really just went for... I didn't know a huge amount about Battle Beast, if I'm honest with you, but just because they're so popular at the minute, I went for the popular route, obviously from Image Comics and Invincible. And I think at the minute it's fair to say he's a bit of a fan favourite. And he's got that sort of warrior code about him. And he's got a massive big club.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's a great deal to know about Battle Beast other than he's just like a warrior killing machine. I don't think they've gone greatly into his background and his history and stuff like that. Just that he's constantly wanting to fight and kill. He's a great character.
So yeah, I thought I said Black Adam was my muscle, but I've got these two guys here, and then every good team needs that female element in it just to bring these guys together, and I went for the master of martial arts and weapon specialist Black Widow, who I think is absolutely great, fantastic character in the movies, and she's obviously bringing everybody together. She's sort of, I see her as the leader of the team, and with her expertise in espionage and all that good stuff. That's the reason why I put Black Widow in the team.
She's got double Bs as well, hasn't she?
She has great guns, yeah. And I went for Beta Ray Bill as my last one because it would annoy you. And I was like, is there another version of Beta Ray Bill that he's going to pull out the bag just like he did before?
As if I would do that.
Not at all. So yeah, he's a worthy wielder of the Stormbreaker. And I just think he's just a super, super cool character. I do recall we read a Beta Ray Bill book, part of a Killer Comic Show, which I really, really enjoyed. And I've only really read that and sort of, his first appearance book as well. But yeah, he sort of brings the sort of space element to my team as well. So that is my team.
I have to say, very cool team. And was that the Daniel Warren Johnson Beta Ray Bill story?
Yes,
I think it was.
That was the one. Yeah.
It was really cool. Bill's a great character. They've screwed him around so much over the years. To be honest, he deserves his time in the light. But yeah, some great characters there. Battle Beast is a firm favourite of mine. I love Beta Ray Bill. So my team. See, I didn't go for any of those. I've gone for slightly off kilt. So I've gone for Bruce Banner. So that's one of my powerhouses. My obviously the Hulk himself. You don't get much stronger than the mighty, incredible Hulk. So yeah, gone for Bruce. He's also got that intellect as well. So he's my man in the chair, the science buffing, who you can pull out, the big stops with when you need to. I've gone for Bruce for Batman. For his tactical know-how. He's my team leader. He's just Batman. Everybody knows who Batman is. I've then gone for the Beyonder. We're an omnipotent being, the all-powerful creature who created Battle World, Secret Wars, all that kind of shenanigans. An omnipotent being with unlimited power. And then I've gone for the Borg. Are you familiar with the Borg?
I'm not.
The Borg are from Star Trek, and the Borg are a cybernetic organism. That basically take over other... Andy's off, he doesn't like Star Trek. That take over other races and convert them into Borg and make them their part of their collective. I've gone for them basically because Batman can control them. And it's an army, so a full-scale army. So I've got an army behind me as well as spacecraft and all the rest of it. But Beyonder's really the powerhouse there. Beyonder wipes out everything else on your slide, to be fair.
So, I mean, did you struggle with this one, Peter?
I did not. How dare you? How dare you? I've got Bruce bloody Wayne there and Batman. The Borg are superb. Killing machines.
Bruce Wayne and Batman, the two of them.
Well, he's technically
Bruce Wayne and his eagle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I'll give you. A for effort, I guess. B for bollocks.
Big bollocks. Right. So let's see what we've got in the chat. We've got Edvic, Batman, Boris the Bear.
Oh, great shout, Ed.
Who's Boris the Bear?
Boris the Bear. Check out some of Boris the Bear's comics. They're absolutely brilliant. I've got the Punisher one. It's great.
I don't think. Oh, I think you've. Yeah, do you
remember I showed that? Yeah.
Bruce Banner. See, me and Ed are like twins. And then Bishop from the X-Men. Yeah, that's a good shout. Chris has gone for Binary, who's Carol Danvers, isn't she? Captain Marvel in a binary form.
Yeah.
A Blue Lantern, who, remind us if I'm wrong, Chris, the Blue Lanterns amplify the powers of all the other lanterns. Can't remember what their rings do. I think it's to amplify. I know they just say all as well all the time. Blink is a great shout. Absolute great. Are you familiar with Blink?
No.
So Blink's originally introduced in the Exiles, but I think she's in the normal X-Men universe now. But she creates teleportation things. She was in some of the X-Men movies as well. She throws like daggers of light which create portals for them to jump through realities.
Okay.
Black Racer. Black Racer is a stunning shout as well. Do you know Black Racer?
Yeah, no, Black Racer. Yeah,
so the embodiment of death itself.
Yeah,
that's a very cool one.
Good shout, Chris.
Yeah, good team that, Chris. Kicking myself here, Wayne, because Black Bolt would have been a beast to have on one of our teams. Black Bolt of the Inhumans. Beast, very cool. Black Goliath and Big Barda. Again, a very strong team. Fuzzy, Batman, Baron Zemo, very cool.
Good shirt.
Bullseye and Brainiac. I like that as well.
Brainiac's a good shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Kenneth, nice to see you. Kenneth, hope you are well. Really, the Borg? Andrew, resistance is futile. Come on. Berserker. I've not read a lot of Berserker. Have you read much Berserker? That's the Keanu Reeves book, isn't it?
First couple of issues for the Killer Comic Show, but I think it just died off after that. Yeah. For me.
Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. It's a good shout. I don't know, is she in the comics at the moment? I don't know what's happened to her. She was the one that became Batgirl during No Man's Land, I think. Couldn't speak for a while. Belle the Beast Hunter. Is that from Beauty and the Beast? Don't know. And Black Lightning. Very cool. Very cool. Sorrel. Can you go for Borg? That's not a character but a race of aliens. Does that count? Yes, they're called the Borg. They don't have individual names, just Borg. It's assimilation, Peter, to be totally honest. Yes. Well, resistance is futile and they assimilate people, yeah. Borg don't count. I think I'll be the judge of that.
So wait a minute, Peter. So if we done A, I'd just go for Avengers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. All of them. Edvic's calling on the sheriff. Sketchy. Calling shenanigans on the Borg. Judge rules is final. He's not said no, Ed. He's not said no. He said it's sketchy, but he's allowing it, is what I've read. I won this one, kids. 3 moves, no damage. Game over. Sheriff Fuzzy's ruling is... Fuzzy hasn't given an official ruling. He's just said that it's a bit sketchy. Resistance is rarely futile. Absolutely. A-team, all characters, mic drop. From a Xenoscope. I don't think I've read... yes. I haven't read... That's the kind of the grim fairy tales ones as things, Terry, is it?
You've done 2 videos, Peter, for
yeah,
God's sake.
I don't remember those ones. Okay. Are we doing... What's our letter next time? Are we doing C?
That is the one after B. Well done, Peter.
Let's just do C. Let's do C. Fuzzy. Rejected. Fuzzy's not accepting the beaver. Okay, I'll just have to make it a Black Bolt instead of if I can't have the Borg. If I can't have Borg, I'm having Black Bolt.
No, we can't change. What would it basically? I thought you were talking about the tennis player.
Becca. Technically, I've got the Beyonder, so I can have any character I want. Really, I reckon I'll still win even with the.
We'll see.
The Borg.
Can somebody chat GPT? Asking who would win out of these 2 teams and give the 2 teams that we had just to see, please. Thanks.
Borg Queen I could have used, you say? I think you're nitpicking, but never mind. Borg sounds Swedish. Red card, you lose a player. Harsh. Okay, let's move on from that. We're going to go... Wayne is suggesting Z. We'll just both have the Zatanna, won't we?
I'm not doing Z. Z's out. We're doing C, okay?
C. We're doing C. C's easiest. Okay, comic books. So far we've reviewed Beneath the Trees and Exquisite Corpses. They're both in our pull list. We've both enjoyed those tales, so we'll be reading on with them. Hi, Connie. Nice of you to join. Hope you're doing well. This week we've ended up reading 2 comics this week and then 1 book. Well, I'm not sure if you read the second comic or not. But let's start off with this. This is Daredevil Cold Day in Hell, issue number 3. This tells a kind of a tale. It feels to me very Dark Knight Returns. It's kind of Daredevil's Dark Knight Returns, set in the future, where he's lost his powers and then regained his powers. Punisher's been chopped up into little bits. Bullseye setting bombs off in the city. I thought this was freaking amazing. I loved this. This for me is for Daredevil, like I've just said, what Batman Dark Knight was. I will definitely be buying this as a nice hardcover to keep in my collection. I think it's one of those books that I will go back and reread lots and lots of times. I thought the artwork was spectacular. But I like Steve Dillon. Is it McNiven or Steve Dillon? Can't remember. McNiven, I think.
Did you enjoy the artwork?
I like that style of artwork. It's very, very gritty, very kind of dirty, and all the characters look like 100-year-old, kind of wrinkly and stuff like that. But I think
it's almost like Darren Warren Johnson without the pace.
Yes,
yeah.
I just loved it. I just really, I know I'm saying the
Do you
same
like it,
things.
Peter?
I just really loved it. I thought it was a great little story. I love the fact Punisher got his kind of moment in the sun at the end there, though I could critique that and say it was a bit silly. Well, he left it on purpose, didn't he? Do you think he left him that tank thing on purpose, really?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, great. What did you think, Andy? What did you think?
No, so I had realised that I hadn't read issue 2, so I read issue 2 and 3 back to back. I think issue 1 we might have read for Killer Comics. Overall, I thought it was a really good story. I did find, going into the third issue, there was a few panels that I struggled with regards to the art. I get that it kind of fitted with the story because he's like that old man Daredevil type thing, and it seems to be all those books that sort of bring the characters back to being the older generation. They're sort of learned from their past, but they've still got their powers and things like that. I find they're really, really interesting to read. I thought there was a couple of elements in this book where I had a lot of questions, but then like the likes of, I don't know if I missed something. Maybe I just forgot about something in issue 1 where it felt like Elektra was kind of squeezed into the story as a bit of a cameo. It was just like, oh, she's there, she's not there, she's badass, and then that's it, she's out. And it didn't really feel as if it felt as if it was just there to sell a cover to a certain extent. The little girl who like shone the light, did I miss something there? Is she from another story that I've missed?
No, I think she was in issue 1, wasn't she? She's the girl who's been chasing. Yeah.
Okay.
She's not a character that's been in anything before, I don't think.
So I'd like to know the context of why she's there, what she's about, what's the backstory. So if they'd done another sort of one-shot issue just on her backstory, I think that would be really interesting. And I think the coolest bit for me in this book was the bit where Bullseye took the tooth that had dislodged when he'd been punched in the face, spat it out, and then hit the controller for the bomb. And I just thought, oh, that's cool. I thought that was really good. Yeah. But overall, I enjoyed it.
I thought that bit was sensational, but I have to say also the panel you've got there, Punisher biting Bullseye's and nose off, was just superb. Absolutely superb.
How did Punisher get like that? Did I miss that as well?
So he was captured by Bullseye years ago, and he's been torturing him for years. Chopped him up,
right?
Took his arms and legs off, and he's been torturing him for years and years and years.
Okay.
I think that Marvel have done really well lately for me, I think, with these kind of tales in the future that are out of continuity, shall we say. So Avengers Twilight, I know you loved that as well as I did.
Yeah.
This story for me was kind of an end point for Daredevil. It's like I say, like Dark Knight. I don't want any sequels to this. Just leave it as it is now. That's a one-off done. Give us it in a nice hardback or something like that to stick on the shelf. I thought the artwork worked for this tale. I do think it's not the kind of artwork I would want to be reading regularly because it's kind of scrawny and scratchy and stuff like that. But for this kind of tale, it kind of fits. I think it did remind us a lot of Frank Miller's stuff in Dark Knight. To be honest.
That it was funny because obviously we recently read the Frank Miller stuff. Has there been any other Cold Day in Hell books? Because I'm just wondering if they've done other characters like Punisher Cold Day in Hell, Spider-Man Cold Day in Hell. I think that would be a good little set of books that you could get.
Yeah. I would like to know more from this universe. I don't want a sequel to this, but I'd like to know what happened because we had Captain America in the first issue. I'd like to know how he got into the state he was in and all the rest of it, Yeah.
And I love the fact it was just 3 issues. Give me more compact stories. A good start, a good middle, a good end. Job's a good one.
Yeah. Self-contained. You haven't got to read 15 other issues interconnecting into it. Just a solid story, solid art. And you know what? No delays. No frigging delays that I'm aware of, unless I've just missed it. But it feels like this has come out consistently on time. So, I thought it was cracking.
Thumbs up,
Chris is just saying, I asked, direct quote, you win, Chris. Nobody else matters. ChatGPT, don't lie. There we go. That's that done. The funny is, Peter, you sent me the Belly of the Beast annual when I won one day. You started me on the road. Your fault. Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed it, mate.
Hashtag Peter's fault.
Hashtag Peter's fault, Fuzzy, cracking end. Yeah, it was a great finale. Cold Day in Hell, best read of the year so far. That's a good call, Terry. I think you might be right, mate. I would want to go. Unlike Andy, I just read issue 3 today. I probably want to go back and read the first 2 issues so I can read it all in one sitting. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And take the full tale in. James, masterpiece. Absolutely, James. McNiven, that's who it is. Thank you very much, Steve McNiven. Issue 1 and 3 were my favourites. 2 was still solid enough, though.
Yeah, issue 1 for me, I thought was fantastic.
Superb.
Yeah.
That's right. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Perfection. Yeah, just leave it as it is. This is what I want from Marvel. Just short miniseries. I don't have faith in them to deliver 12 strong
100%.
issues.
Same.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm the same. Have we had, I know it's my hobby horse, have we had the end of Batman Gargoyle yet? Not Gargoyle. What was it? Yeah, Gargoyle.
Yeah, no, it was Gargoyle. Yeah. So I think the last issue we got was the little
Joker,
sort of
the one with the
childlike
Joker, I think.
Joker face. Yeah.
So I don't think we've had the conclusion of that story, but I've got no intention of reading it now because it's been, Fuzzy saying no.
Share a fuzzy sin. No.
It's ridiculous, absolutely friggin' ridiculous. I don't know. Anyway. I tell you what, reading the ChatGPT fake description is brilliant. I'm afraid that Peter wins with the Beyonder. Just beating everyone. If you tone him down and Bruce is allowed to be Hulk Pete. There you go. Thank you very much, Ed. I do appreciate your support. Hard to bear, Andy. Never mind.
My heart's broken, to be honest.
Moving on.
Guys, can I get a second opinion? It must be how you worded the prompt. Did you start it, by the way, I love Peter. This is his team.
No, we didn't. Okay, next book to read. This. Post Malone's Big Rig. Did you manage to read this, Andy, or not?
I could not find it to read it illegally. No.
Okay. So this is Post Malone, who is a rapper, I believe, who has come up.
You've never sounded as old in your life.
I'm very old, very, very old. Yeah.
Wow.
Who has come up with the concept of this, I believe, and has had somebody work with him to write it. Now. Much like movies and things like that, this has been promoted and pushed beyond belief. Everybody that sells comics would have you believe this is going to be the next biggest book out there. It's phenomenal, blah, blah, blah. You've got to buy everybody's exclusive covers because it's great.
It was a new Berserker, wasn't it?
It's the new Berserker. It's going to be massive. So I bought this and I've read it, and it's bollocks. It's cack. As Sorrel says, it was absolute bollocks. Do you know what? If it didn't have Post Malone's name on it, and I picked this up off the shelf because I had an interesting cover and read it, I would have still thought it wasn't particularly good. I love horror and monsters and myths and all that kind of stuff, so this should be right up my street. But it just makes no friggin' sense. And normally if a book makes no sense, if it's intrigued us enough, I'll read the next couple of issues to try and make it make sense. If you understand.
Yeah.
I've got no desire to do that with this book.
Is this not just a one shot though?
No, this is ongoing, isn't it?
Is this ongoing? All right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, the basic premise. I couldn't tell you what time period this is all happening in, because it seems totally random. There's like modern day stuff, and then ancient stuff, and then demons, and then like village people, and then icky big truck for no reason. It's black and white, but then with random splashes of colour. So, for example, the entire book's black and white, then the big truck appears and it's red. And I thought, that'll be slightly interesting. The truck's going to be red throughout the book, kind of to make it stand. No, just for that panel it was red. And then they forget about that and it's not red anymore. And then later on it's red again for some reason. I just didn't understand what was happening. It was cack.
I guess you're absolutely right. Like, it's worked because you've bought the book. And you bought that on the basis of all the hype. And the reason why there's so much hype is because Post Malone is names on the comic. So I guess there's an element of intrigue there. You know, if the guy can write a song, he must be able to write a comic. That would be my assumption. But certainly from what I've heard, that's definitely not the case. And I guess, what's disappointing to me is that you've got the likes of, as an example, Kevin Wells, who's putting out Kickstarters with great books. Yeah. Who would absolutely love for Vault to take on one of his books. And it just seems that obviously if you're a celebrity, then you get to put out books because it will sell because of the name. Yeah. And just as I mentioned, Kevin, obviously he's got his Kickstarter, so make sure that you go and get whatever you want from it because it looks fantastic. I think 22 quid, I'd rather talk about Kevin than his Kickstarter than this.
Something like that.
So yeah, definitely check it out. Yeah.
Trying to be positive. The artwork inside is quite nice. I think whoever the artist is, the art's quite nice. But yeah, I've got nothing. I've got no else. I've got no else for this. It doesn't even make it. I thought the truck thing's kind of sent by God or something. I don't know. So I thought because it says something about when you put on the cap, you become the truck or something. So I kind of thought it was
Like
going
a
to be
trucker hat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I thought it was going to be like a Ghost Rider kind of thing, and the truck would become powerful or something. But it rams a gate and it's smashed up. So I don't understand what the truck even does.
It doesn't even transform.
Doesn't even transform. It looks like Optimus, but it doesn't. It's got loads of guns in the back, which again, I think it's set in medieval times, so I don't understand.
Optimus Wine.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome.
So no, nah. So let's see what people thought. Sorrel, bollocks. Fuzzy, pure mince. The black and white red added nothing. If anything, it made it worse. Yeah, I would agree. Comic deal, nice to say about it. Just how big is Post Malone's rig though? Massive from all, and it's tattooed from what I understand. I don't know who did the artwork, but what I would say, the artwork is quite nice. I quite like the artwork. If Post Malone being the poster boy is the big sell, you're guaranteed gash. Yeah, it's basically Army of Darkness with a truck. Yeah, that's right, Fuzzy. $7.99 cover price. Not a cheap book, this.
Jesus.
And that's for the normal issues, and then there's like 400 thingy issues. I was suckered in, and I went for the Cartel Travelling Man exclusive, which was I think £14 or something. I got paid for that shit. And I've got about 5 other variants.
You don't mind if it's a decent book, $7.99 for a double-sized issue. I mean,
Yeah.
but if you're reading it and it's absolute cack and you've only bought it because Post Malone's writing it, then
But this is the thing. This is what upset. No, Peter.
go on, Peter.
My
loose.
blood pressure. My blood pressure.
You're with friends.
It's the same as the whole, Keanu, and I love Keanu writing Berserker. I don't know how much these people actually have to do with this book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The narrative has been Post Malone had an idea. I have about 50 ideas a night when I'm sat having a cack. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that all of them are going to translate into a comic book. So
do you have 50 cacks, or do you have 50
I'm
ideas what should do in one
constantly
cack?
irritable bowel, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how involved he is in this, or if it's just slap his name on, he's popular. So, next week we'll get a Lady Gaga book or something.
I mean, if Post Malone wants to come on in the next couple of weeks, then he's more than welcome to.
I wouldn't know who he is. Could be anybody. Thank God I'm old. I've never heard of him. And I should have just stopped at the free comic book day copy. I've nobody to blame but myself. Peter literally has shit idea. How dare you? At least I know where to have a shit comic deal. At least I know it's not on the street when I'm wandering around London. Keanu is good. Keanu is a god, I believe. Amongst men, though, Post is a fat lad that can't sing. You're going, wow, Chris. Chris, he was watching. He's just switched off. Chris. You've upset him. Anyway, moving on from Post Malone's big pile of cack.
Is that our first negative review?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we've popped with negativity.
The question is, are we putting it on our pull list?
Absolutely no.
Okay.
For the record, I've never pooped in the streets of London.
Not in London.
Not in London. Yeah. Do I? Ladies and gents, this is a flashback to when we were in London. So this is about the story of poor James wandering the streets of London looking for a toilet. Do I have a recollection of we're talking about if we've ever crapped with pants as well at one point?
I've no idea what you're talking about. This must be one of your thoughts that you have when you're having a cack. We may have. It may have been one of our deliberations. And so we were actually going to post it as one of the questions for the chat, but should we?
I think we did. I think we did. I think we had a good conversation about this in Weatherspoons about whether you.
No, we did, because I was going because you may or may not have sat and asked your family member.
My daughter. Yeah. Okay. Half of us fat lads that can't sing, Chris. That's very true. Canals though, floaters. And with your brother James, we're not writing shit comics either. Exactly. Anyway, we're on to the Rusty Spec deck. I thought this week Andy would have a little look-see at good old Peacemaker, because he is going to be hitting with screens shortly. I cannot read that right, and my eyesight's terrible. So I've looked at a few of the books that Peacemaker is kind of...
Glasses, Peter?
I'm looking on my phone to see if I've got them on my phone as well. Obviously, we've got the Fighting Five, which is the first ever appearance of Peacemaker from 1966. Can you believe that? Long time ago. Nice book to get a hold of if you can. It's a pricey book as well, as you can see on the screen there. If you get a high grade copy, you're looking at about £1,000 for that.
Not related, but issue number 28 of the Fighting Five is the first appearance of the Fighting Five team as well.
Oh, is that right?
A lot cheaper than this book. Yeah.
See, I don't think I've read any Fighting Five. I don't think I'm very familiar with them at all, to be honest.
I was only familiar with them because it was Peacemaker's origin and first appearance. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good one to look out for, but it's a pricey book. It is a pricey book, and that's probably more due to the age than the fact that Peacemaker is like a popular character. I think it's always been a pricey book.
66, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's an old one. We've then got Peacemaker issue number 1. Chris is just saying here, Fighting 541 isn't expensive. Second appearance. That's a nice one. That's a nice
absolutely.
one. So yeah, Peacemaker number 1. This is his first kind of cover appearance and his third appearance of the actual character. Again, very expensive book. Lovely cover, but I do like that cover. I don't know if you... it's not one I've ever seen out and about on the wild, to be honest.
It's a real difficult one to get in good condition as well. I think I did look at it when Peacemaker was sort of touted as going to be coming on TV screens and things like that. But the prices for a high grade one of this is astronomical at the minute. Fun fact: I've not watched Peacemaker TV show.
Superb!
Is it good?
Yeah, very good series. The second series looks like it's going to be great as well. So I'm looking forward to that. If you've not seen the first series, Andy, you'll not understand necessarily the reference to this one. This is Special War Series issue number 4, the first appearance of Judo Master, who's a real small DC character. He's been in a few books, but makes an appearance in season 1 of Peacemaker and was kind of a bit of a hit character. People really enjoyed it because he's just a bit wacky. We know he's coming back in season 2 as well. So again, a nice book to get if you can get a hold of it. You can get that one relatively reasonable. So if you're going for a low grade copy, you can get it for around the $20 mark. I've got a feeling that might be a one to pick up.
That covers class as well.
It is.
Just for the cover alone, it is great.
It is. And I think, like I say, I think the fact that this character's kind of really taken off a little bit, I think it's worth getting. Next one we've got is Crisis on Infinite Earths number 6, a book you can pick up for pennies, really cheap. Part of the Infinity Crisis, Crisis on Infinite Earths saga. Any ideas why that one's a bit of a good spec book to get a hold of?
Well, it says on the screen there, first appearance of Charlton characters in DC continuity, Captain Atom, Judo Master, Nightshade, Peacemaker, The Question, and Thunderbolt. And it's also the first to cover and full appearance of the Anti-Monitor.
See, that would be exactly right, Andy. I'm surprised your eyes, what with you being older than me, can see that. But yeah, so all of these characters, like the Atom and like Peacemaker, were part of the Charlton comic series, and they kind of moved over into the real DC universe in this book. So it is a bit of a key in terms of those characters now becoming part of the DC universe. Captain Atom is a character that would be really interesting to see on screen, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him at some point. Again, if you've not seen the first season of Peacemaker, one of the other standout characters within the series, the next comic's related to standout characters really, is Peacemaker's sidekick, Eagly.
The Big Eagle.
a Big Eagle, yeah. Makes its first comic book appearance in Strange Love Adventures issue number 1. Again, just a low-level spec book, really, for you to have a little look-see at. Eagly's a great character. I wouldn't be surprised if that character just continues to grow and grow. I don't know if it's really been featured a lot in the comic books. In the Harley Quinn books, as you know, are a bit off the wall already. But yeah, nice to see him make an appearance in that. And then the last one we've got there, again, big character in the... I'm sure I gave away that book just recently. Big character in this series is Vigilante. Really interesting character, very funny. not necessarily in the comics. In the comics, he's a bit like a Punisher kind of character, really.
Mm-hmm.
But in the series, he's kind of his sidekick, and he turns out to be a bit. He turns out to be a bit kind of loopy and a bit batshit crazy, really. So yeah, very, very cool character. Again, if the second series does well, and it has got every reason to do well, I think people are really invested in these characters. All of those books will go up, I would imagine. The big money books are obviously the first Peacemakers, but if you can get the Judo Master, the Eagly, the Vigilante, they've got potential to grow a bit, I think.
Yeah.
That book, though, has gone up in value a fair bit because of the popularity of Vigilante. Like I say, I'm sure I've either got one in my giveaway box or I've given one away recently. Can't remember.
I think Judo Master for me would be the book out of those to pick up. I think Peacemaker's probably at the point for a high grade copy that's just out with reach. But I think if you could get a good solid, 6, 6.5, maybe 7.0 on the Special War Series number 4. I can see everybody rushing to eBay as we speak.
Yeah. Chris, you're not getting Titans Annual 2 for a few quid. I think, like I say, Chris, you know what my memory's like? I've definitely picked it up relatively recently for my giveaway box, and I'll have paid around about 10 to 15 quid for it, no more than that.
Yeah.
But I can't remember when I got it, and I can't remember if I've given it away. It might still be in there. So yeah, Peacemaker, great character, continuing to go strong. Don't think he's going anywhere from the James Gunn universe. I think James Gunn's been quite clear that he likes this character. Obviously, he appeared in the latest Superman movie. If you can get the big books, all power to you. But I think some of the supporting characters have got the opportunity to rise in value, or just get them because you love the characters. You know, I mean,
or even some of the villains.
Character.
It might be worth checking out some of the villains for all these sort of characters and try and getting their first appearance if it wasn't in these books. That would be probably a good tip.
Absolutely. So there we go. Now we've got Comics and Collectors Market Watch. So some interesting items. Andy.
Yes.
Oh, look at that Thunder Tank.
I tell you what, guys, Safe Space, this isn't as easy as I first anticipated it would be to try and find some cool stuff. And I think largely because I've tried to keep it within the UK, so any UK sales. All the really, really cool stuff is obviously seems to be in America. So I guess we need to decide whether we can branch out into the worldwide market if we're going to stick to the UK. But I guess it's a little bit of a challenge, more of a challenge to get some cool stuff. But I tried my best with this one. The first one is a vintage box Thundercats Thunder Tank. This sold for £208.68. Did you have one of these? Do you have one of these?
I don't. I nearly picked one up when me and James were at Dublin Comic Con, I think it might have been. Mm-hmm. Was that the one? Was that the one you were at? Or
Dublin? No, I wasn't. No.
Dublin. It was 150 quid. You've got to be really careful with these because, I mean, that looks in great condition. But the actual Thunder Tank itself, it's got rubber around the tracks, and the rubber perishes and snaps very, very easily. Mm-hmm. Now, I know some people have been buying replacement rubber and sticking them on, but they're not telling people and trying to sell it as a vintage
production. Yeah.
How you can tell that, I guess, I don't know, but yeah, I like it. It might come. I might get a one to go. I wouldn't be going for a one box anyway. To be fair, I'd just go for a vintage tank. But that's a good price.
This had the missiles, didn't it? This shot out missiles.
So.
See, that's the things that would go missing in these. Like, if you can get a box complete one of these, then you're absolutely laughing. And I don't know. I don't for the condition of that box. Assuming that everything's there, I didn't read the description, but 200 quid seems light. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable price. I can't remember if this does have shootout missiles or not. I cannot remember. But certainly, it's one of these vehicles that has not fared well over the years because of the materials made. It was made with. So if you can get a decent one, I mean, that box looks immaculate. To be fair.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Nice. So next up, this was a bit of an oddball one, and something I guess for a little bit of spec in the future, because I think the Toy Story stuff in the next sort of 15-20 years is going to go through the roof. So this was a collection of Toy Story memorabilia, all boxed and unused, And I thought, again, this was a really good price. It had 13 bids and went for just over 280 quid.
Wow.
Am I wrong here? Unboxed, unused for what seems to be a barrel load of stuff?
Seems to be a hell of a lot of figures there, doesn't there? A lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
And like you say, Toy Story stuff's always going to retain its value, I think.
absolutely. I think it'll sort of come round, like, and as I say, in the next 10, 15 years, if that can be kept boxed, and even if some of that's actually gradable, like you'll make your money back in that. Absolutely
yeah.
no problem with at all.
Absolutely.
Did you pick up any Toy Story stuff when it was out?
No, I mean, I do like Toy Story, but I'm not a Toy Story collector, I have to say.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
Favorite character?
Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, Buzz Lightyear.
See, I have to go for Andy for obvious reasons.
Well, naturally, naturally. Yeah.
Somebody else pulls my strings. So next up, we went for so these were 3 individual Ghostbuster figures from the 90s. This went for £234.68. Here, safe space. It really annoys me in eBay now because of the buyer's fees. That if you put something up for like a round number, my OCD goes crazy because they're all like 230. Anyway, breathe. So yeah, I know. I remember in our trip to Dublin that you were looking for that Ghostbuster figure.
I was,
And tell the story of that for our adoring
So
public.
I mean, I don't necessarily go for the ones on card anymore, but I wanted a Winston. Was it Winston? Yeah, it was Winston for my collection. And we went into a very big toy shop which had a load of vintage figures. And I saw a Winston, which I hadn't seen for a long time. So just grabbed a paid vintage, what I would consider vintage price for it. And didn't really look at it properly. And when I got home and had a look at its foot, it's got the date it was made on, and it was a reproduction figure. So I was pretty pissed off, I have to say. But I think the toy store as well had been pretty naughty because it had obviously put it in amongst vintage figures to try and, unless they just didn't know.
Do you recall the conversation that the guy was having about somebody that was on the phone to him who was looking to send back something that he'd purchased, and he was like giving out to him? And I was like, I can just imagine you saying, actually, I want to send this back. But but yeah, again, I thought that was a decent price. It probably wouldn't be something I would pick up. Again, I don't buy a lot of carded figures. The only carded figures, or the only figure I'm on the lookout for is Princess Leia at the minute. Something a little bit different and super cool as far as I'm concerned was the Marx Toys Japan tin operated Frankenstein.
See, I love that.
This just looks super cool. Like I can just see that displayed on the shelf. I think it's a bit oddball, but 845 quid's worth of oddball.
I don't love it that much. I mean, it's a nice thing, and you know, it looks very cool, but nearly £1,000. I mean,
without a box as well.
I suppose it's from the 60s, so it's done well, you know, to survive, I guess, this long. But yeah, that's, as much as I love it, that's not something I would be looking to spend £1,000 on.
I think this is for the Frankenstein lover that has everything and has some disposable cash. But no, I just thought it was a cool thing that I hadn't seen before.
There is big money but in these tin toys, isn't it? I mean, I've never really getting into the tin toy kind of, because you know there's robots and Godzillas and all kinds of stuff, but a lot of people buy a lot of that stuff. So I it's not for me, but I'm not questioning the price on it. Do you know what I mean? I would imagine that's what it's worth in terms of the collector's market.
Yeah, without that, like I've no like sort of barometer to say whether it's cheap or a good price. I just, the condition of it, like for a toy from the 60s that was made to play with, you would imagine that tin would be in the paintwork would be quite scratched up. But I mean, at least if it literally just has come out the box. So yeah, if money was no object, I would be picking this up.
Yeah, looks very cool. It does look very cool.
Next.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you don't have. I have control. Look at that.
Mighty Max Horror Heads, the Corpus Green variant from Bluebird Toys. This was from 1993. Do you remember the Mighty Max toys? This just gave me all the feels. This went for £465.68. I was just like, I'm sure I must have some Mighty Max stuff sitting in a box somewhere. Now, whether or not it has all the little trinkety toys that came with it, but did you have these when you were a bairn?
I had a couple of them. I didn't have loads, but I certainly had a couple of them. I don't remember been as obsessed with these as I was with things like He-Man and Thundercats and stuff. But yeah, I remember them being very cool figures. Had the micro machines as well.
Oh, I love micro machines. Yeah. I've got the Star Wars micro machines, if you remember them back in the day. Yeah. So, some great memories. I chose the Invincible #1, the first edition 9.2, just because we were talking about Invincible in the last show. And this sold for, I think it was just under the 1,004. It was taken as a best offer. But again, it sort of blew me away that 9.2 is going for that price, and I just think everything Invincible is on fire at the minute.
See, I think that's a crazy price for that. I mean, we talked last show about how Invincible is just very hot at the moment.
Yeah.
But 1,400, I would have expected that for a 1.6. Sorry, a 9.6.
9.6, yeah.
Yeah, 9.2. That's,
yeah.
I mean,
like
crazy.
it's not near mint, that's not a near mint book. So yeah, I just if anybody's got any Invincible stuff or sees it, like even when we were at the comic market, I know we're going to talk about that later on. Like there was lots of Invincible books, but whereas maybe I don't know, maybe a year or so ago they would have been, but before the TV show came out, they'd all be sitting in boxes. These were all wall books now. You couldn't get them for a cheap price. So,
I mean, we talked before. It's a great series, but
yeah.
I mean, $1,500 for a 9.2 is, yeah.
Do you think it will maintain those prices though?
That's the worry, isn't it? I think Invincible's got legs. I think we'll get a live action movie. The animated series. The thing is, the comic series has ended, so it's a bit like Walking Dead for me. It'll be incredibly unpopular for a while, and then it'll start to die off. And I'm not saying Walking Dead's not still popular, it is, but it's nowhere near as popular as it was at its height.
Yeah.
And this will probably just die off. I can't see it maintaining those kind of prices for forever,
Is this maybe because it's like a print run related?
It is very low print run.
Yeah,
very low print run.
Next one up is Fantastic Four issue #4 from 1962, and this is the first Silver Age appearance of the Submariner. Fantastic artwork. What blew me away for that, and again, I don't know if this is a good price, but I'm looking at it for the condition, and the condition doesn't look that great. Like, this is beyond a good press and clean as far as I'm concerned, or am I wrong?
No, I mean, it looks screwed, doesn't it? But this is a big key book. This is another one, though, that suffered by a poor film. Well, it's not a poor film.
The characterization.
This book was incredibly hot before Black Panther 2 came out, and you couldn't get a first appearance Submariner under $1,000. It was because I wanted one, and then the movie didn't necessarily blow people away. I don't know, mind. I might have had it spotted this. I would have liked to have had a look at the condition, but I might have gone for that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that great a cover. I might just be on my own.
It's not that. It's a crap. It's the character. It's the key character. First
of course,
yeah. You don't get many major kind of Marvel what I would class as mega keys from that era for under $1,000 these days. So to get a key first appearance, Fantastic Four issue 4. Do you know what I mean? It's
a big boy book. I just assumed because it had one bid that it was Keeger's that had bought it for you for your birthday.
Oh, you might have.
Next up is so guys, Jellycats. Okay.
What the shit is a Jellycat?
So it's a great question, Peter, and one I have asked myself quite a few times until my eldest daughter introduced me to the world of Jellycat. She says, "Dad, I'd really like to get yada yada blah 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 Jellycat." And I thought, okay, let's have a wee look on the website. My God, guys, the prices of these things are astronomical, and these are like Labubus on drugs. As far as I'm concerned, the prices these go for. This one in particular, this is the Roberta Bunny Jellycat, brand new with tags, BNWT for all those, and apparently it's extremely rare. I can see that it looks extremely rare. It looks as if it's been on it looks like me after the night out in London. and this bad boy went for £3,576. Guys, are we missing a trick here on the Jellycat craze? Why is there no a Jellycat comic? If not, why not? Let's do it.
Do you know what? I haven't got a fucking clue what a Jellycat is. That looks like something I'd wash my bits with in the bath. It's like a loofah thing or something. I have no...
I've just got images of you washing your bits with a Jellycat toy. What I mean...
I've got no reference point to Jellycats. I've never even heard Sorrel talk about Jellycats, and normally he's the man that would be into stuff like this.
So Sorrel's away digging out his Jellycats, keeping them away for you so you don't wash your bits for them.
So is it just like a teddy bear? Is that what we're saying? It's a teddy bear.
It's just a teddy bear. It's almost like a glorified Beanie Baby. But all the adults and all the TikTokers all go crazy for them. And apparently we missed out because there's a Jellycat store in Selfridges in London.
Yeah,
and if I
should have gone.
If my daughter had been made aware that there was a Jellycat store, I would have not been able to go. To be honest, she would have wanted something. Jellycats can cock off.
Connie's got Jellycats. Jellycats can cock off. All Jellycats made by an independent creator.
Oh, I've no idea.
$3,500 bit washer.
Fancy.
That's my hand shandy sorted tonight with that image in mind. Oh, Jellycats are mass produced now. I think I've seen some of them on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not getting any Jellycats.
We were looking at them on the website, and I might order myself up. They do have a pigeon Jellycat. They look a little bit like Pokemon, some of them as well, like the Pokemon characters. So, guys, I might have a Jellycat in the next couple of weeks to show off. Not gonna lie.
Sean, we spent nearly 250 quid on Labubu's on holiday. Could have gotten a decent comic for that. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wait a minute. He spent 250 quid on Labubu's?
Labubu.
We spent nearly two. No way. That's crazy. Did you see all the fake ones in London?
Yeah.
There was
they're not
billions of them.
Yeah,
like gremlins.
In Selfridges, you can get the fish and chips Jellycats to pretend to deep fry them. Jesus God.
Yeah, and they've got it set up like a little canteen. Oh, I'm all in.
Stephen's Bean. Good Lord.
Way overpriced. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. This is our life-size machine.
These are a little Jellycat.
This is the bit of the show where we look at a classic book or a classic story, and we have been looking at V for Vendetta. We have got a copy to give away tonight. Andy, V for Vendetta. Let's
what a lovely slide.
What a lovely slide. Tell me a little bit about V for Vendetta.
So V for Vendetta is one of those books that I've heard lots about. And if it weren't for us doing this segment of the show, I'd probably have never picked up to read. I think there was like 2 or 3 people that had actually picked it in the last show. And I'm so thankful that they did, because it seems a bit cliche, but this is a book that everybody probably should read at some point. Not only if they're a comic fan, but if they just like a good, solid story. I must admit, I did try to dive in post reading this into the movie. And I think reading the book made the movie even a little bit more worse for me, because it's just not that great, and they've obviously changed a lot about it. But the moral of this story is it follows the character V, and V is the epitome of the he's a symbol of anarchy, where he wants to overrule the class system and the British government. And he feels that everything that has happened to him in past experiences has all led up to this, and everything that there's like a secret police, and everything is kind of a representational of sort of modern day. And that's why I thought this book was so good, because you could relate a lot of things that were happening in modern day life to this story, even though this was 86
or 7 or something, isn't
it?
it?
Somewhere around about there. So you've got the secret police who are basically taking over, and it's all about their propaganda and misinformation that they're giving out to the people, and it's all about control. So everything that they're telling them in the media is all like thought out, and basically V wants everybody to it basically it's up to themselves to decide how they rule their life. So he wants to get everybody together to fight against this system, and he goes about it in some various ways, which includes blowing up various places within London. And he meets this character called, remind me, Evie. Is it Evie?
Yeah.
Yeah. He meets a character called Evie, and are we doing like major spoilers for this, Peter? Like, yeah. So he sort of brings Evie along in this journey, and almost sets her a few sort of tests along the way to see if she's willing to give up the identity of V. And at the end, eventually, what happens? Spoiler alert: is that V appears to get shot and killed, and at the end, Evie takes over the mantle of the V character, and she sort of carries on his message and his crusade. But I think what made this even more kind of special for me reading this is the fact that we went to London for the weekend, and kind of just that whole vibe about that London has, and it was just, there was a bit of a connection there for me. I think overall, I thought it was a great story. It's a hard story, like you need to concentrate on it, but again, everybody who enjoys a good story and who is a comic fan needs to read this book, as far as I'm concerned. What about yourself, Peter?
So I read this book years and years ago when it was originally published in a UK magazine called Warrior. I don't know if you remember.
That's right, Warrior issue
magazine.
number one. That was the first stories, yeah.
And then I watched the movie, but I hadn't read it since. So I read this over the last week or two. First thing I would say is, much like when we're talking about Watchmen, this is not a book you can just pick up and have a quick read, light read. You need to dedicate time to it over a period of a few days at least, because it is very deep. There's a lot of words to it. There's a lot of thinking. I think we've both said that, Andy, haven't we? You need to really absorb it.
A lot of song lyrics as well, isn't there?
Sorrel's made a comment here saying, in the current climate of the world, it's a wild read. I absolutely felt that reading this. Yeah. I loved it the first time because I liked the political nature of it. But in the current climate, it just felt even better. And there's a couple of bits that really stood out to us. There's a bit where he's talking to Justice, the statue of Justice, which I just thought was phenomenal.
I said to you when we were in London that those 5 or 6 pages of that are probably the best, some of the best comics I've read. I think if you don't want to go through all 10 issues of this, just read that particular issue, because it resonates and says so much about the climate in the 80s as it does where we are at the minute.
There's a great couple of lines as well where he's in the, I think it's when he's in the TV station, and he's berating the populace, basically saying, this is where we are, but it's your fault. You've voted. You've continued to vote. You've allowed. They've basically been in a slumber and just let what's happened happen. And I thought, you know what? It speaks now.
Speaks volumes. Yeah.
The artwork is phenomenal. Alan Moore, even though he's batshit crazy, can write a hell of a book. And his words, same as Watchmen for me, his words just seem to strike at my soul. Do you know what I mean? The stuff he talks about. I love the way V speaks. He kind of, it's almost Shakespearean, everything he says. It's a performance. And it's funny because I have watched the movie relatively recently, maybe last year, and I still enjoy the movie, but it is very different to the book. But I love, there's a line in the book and a line in the movie where it says ideas are bulletproof, which I just think sums up everything beautifully. I really like that. So yeah, for me, we've talked, haven't we, about books that are kind of must reads, I think, for comic book fans. This is one of them, but with the kind of the caveat that this is not a straightforward, easy read. This is something you've got to really invest in. And, again, we've said before, when people say comics are for kids, this is the kind of book you say, come on, read that one and tell us it's a kid's comic.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that you were talking about like ideas of bulletproof, and the whole sense of this is that the governments are effectively stopping you from thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what they want, because ideas are the most powerful things that we have, and they're all our own. And that if you take those ideas away and stop people thinking, then they just go with the flow and follow instruction effectively. I class a really, really good book as if I read it, and I read this digitally, if I would go out and then go find the comics or go buy the book, because I think this is one that has to be on your bookshelf.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be.
So it's interesting you're saying that. So obviously I picked up, we're going to give away a copy of the trade paperback of V for Vendetta. I picked that up whilst we're talking. Hashtag V in the comments, ladies and gents. Hashtag V.
Surely nobody can get that hashtag wrong.
You would imagine so. Hashtag V, and whoever wins this and a few other comic books. But I was having a look, I collect the Absolute editions from DC. I love the Absolutes. And there's a V for Vendetta Absolute editions, and I haven't got it, so I've immediately jumped on eBay and have sourced myself a copy of that.
Nice.
Because this is a book that deserves to sit, on your shelf.
Yeah,
so stunning book. Really pleased we read it. Going to go to the comments now. Whilst we're doing that, guys, stick that hashtag in the chat. But also, what do you think we should read next time? Again, another classic would be nice, but try and give us something a little bit lighter this time. A little bit lighter. So, not Mouse or something like that.
Maximum, like, I'd say 10 issues or something like that.
Yeah. It has to be achievable, yeah. So, just bring that down. Sorry, we've got some of the artwork there. Absolutely stunning artwork. I love that style as well.
My slides are wasted on you, Peter, I swear.
Yeah, they're beautiful. But, yeah. There's something as well about the design of V that I love. Just that Guy Fawkes, the simple kind of...
Well, it's a symbol now. It's a symbolism now, especially in the modern world as well. You can see when everybody's like demonstrating and stuff like that they would wear the masks and stuff like that. That third, I think, the third page there is the one where he's talking to Justice. And guys, if that's it, can you remember what issue that was?
I can't. So. It's about halfway through, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like 5 or 6, 4. It might be issue number 4. Okay. And the beauty about that issue is you can read it on its own, because it's effectively him just speaking to Justice, and it's some of the best writing I've. And he makes, even though it's kind of a Shakespearean and there's lots of song lyrics and stuff like that, Alan Moore seems to have this real knack of making it flow really well.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, as well? Because one of the other things I was going to mention is it's his story and about how he's kind of fighting get back against the machine, as it were. But he's a prick as well, isn't he? I mean, the abuse he puts Evie through, when he's got her chained up downstairs, pretend she's being interrogated, because that goes on for months and months. It borders on the abuse kind of line of things, and you think, yeah.
It's like that anti-hero type thing. It's like, he's trying to break her the same as what they tried to break him when he was in the concentration camp type thing. Which I thought was really interesting. But it's fantastic.
So Sorrel is saying, current climate of the world is a wild read. Didn't read that way when I first read it as a younger man. Yeah, Connie's not read this one. Worth picking up, Connie. It's been on my list since I got into comics in 2020, just never got to it. Well, hopefully you might win tonight, Connie, and you can have a read. Hear me out, V for Vendetta, but all the characters are jelly. Oh, God. And Labubu's, I'm sure it would still have the same hit. I've got a lovely sketch in my copy of V for Vendetta. That would be cool, Andrew. Very
sketch.
Nice.
Who by? Who done the sketch? Andrew, let us know. If you can put up a picture on Instagram, that'd be cool. Tag us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, mate. Terry, I always thought I'd read V, but I hadn't, and now I'm glad I did. Absolutely brilliant. The movie, possibly even better. Loved both. Yeah, I did enjoy the movie as well, mind.
Is anybody reading the book because of the show, like that didn't read it before? I'd be interested to know that.
So Terry did. So
it's Terry. I thought maybe you'd read it before.
No. I think this was my introduction to Alan Moore. Yeah, I mean, phenomenal writer. I would always recommend Alan Moore's writing. I don't think I've read anything bad by Alan Moore.
So Swamp Thing's by Alan Moore, yeah?
Yeah, so he did Swamp Thing, he did...
what else has he done?
So he did one of my favourite Superman stories, For the Man Who Has Everything, the one where he gets the Black Mercy. That's stunning. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, not the movie. Okay. He hates the movie. He's done a load of really... Was
Yeah.
Prometheus, I think? Top
Oh
10
yeah, I've
movies.
got that actually. I've got
Yeah, he's
Prometheus.
done a lot of very, very good stuff. But he doesn't work for any of the big companies anymore. He's kind of anti-mainstream comics now.
Oh, okay. Which makes sense with V for Vendetta. You know.
Um, the only thing that stops Peter having ideas is when he has to wipe, apparently. That's very true. The trade is in 3 parts, as you know. I read 1 part every 2 days. Yeah.
Nice.
Just the V, mate. Just the V. Ed Vick, for something much lighter, that's in every best comic list, you should read Boone. I've never read any Boone. Never read any of that. Have you read any of that?
Me neither. That's quite a big story, is it not? It's like 40 odd issues.
Ongoing or something. Yeah. I don't know. What's up people saying?
Read his Bone or read the comic Bone?
I don't read his Bone. Alan Moore, Swamp Thing for the next one. Black Mirror, because I've just bought it. Don't think I've read Black Mirror. Did you want to read Black Mirror a while ago?
We did, yeah. I think I've got about... Well, I've read it before, but I reread it and got about halfway through. So that's not a bad shout, actually.
Yeah. The current quote, the quote that stood out for me is, the current climate, our masters have not heard the people's voice for generations, and it's much, much louder than they care to remember. Yeah, that's a classic. I like that story. Very, very cool. Yeah. Oh, God. Rabbits. I believe you should read Usagi Yojimbo, Volume 1. If not Boone, definitely Usagi. The Crow. It's a superb one, but it's a bit dark in it, but it is superb. I like that.
Something nice and light and airy. Yeah. You know, it's...
I just want to make you read a manga. Yeah. Grant Morrison, Swamp Thing's very, very good, excuse me. Does the statue talk back? Because transforming robots, Ronin Samurai, Mutant Turtles, all fine. But I draw the line at talking statues. Don't think it does, mate. Don't think... Jessica Fletcher would have nailed him inside the first book. The Tick. Yeah, The Tick would be cool. From Hell. I forgot he did that. So Alan Moore did From Hell. You read that?
Yeah, that's a
superb.
classic.
Yeah, absolutely superb. From Hell's a great one. Batman versus Bigby, a wolf in Gotham. Never heard of that one. Oh, you've talked about that one before, Sorrel. I've never read that. The sketch in my copy of V is from David Lloyd. Just posted on Instagram now. Wow, that's impressive. Oh, wow, look at that.
I hope you don't mind me sharing this. I'm sure you don't.
That is amazing. That's stunning.
Cool.
That's stunning. Black Mirror is one of my favourites. I think we should go with Black Mirror. I've never read that. Prometheus. That's by Alan Moore as well, Phil, I think.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely by Alan Moore. Yeah.
Long Halloween, superb. Fables, yep, very cool. Okay, let's go Black Mirror for the next one. How many issues is that? And I'll make sure I've got that one.
That's what, 11, I want to say.
Okay,
10, 11.
Okay, we'll read that.
And let's do the Long Halloween after that, if you're cool with that.
Long Halloween is superb.
I haven't read that Long Halloween.
Not read? Oh, mate. No. Yeah, Long Halloween is superb. Reminder, guys, hashtag V in the comments, and we will pick someone to get this copy of V. We just wanted to end the show really with a little bit of a chat about Comic Cons. So we've both been to the London Comic Mart recently, and it kind of prompted to talk a little bit about these. So I'm interested in the chat's views as well about comic conventions. Andy, I kind of thought Comic Cons were a relatively recent thing, and I found these images from 1968, the first British Comic Convention, and then London Comic Book Convention, in February 92. These were the kind of cons I remember going to. Not in 68, obviously, but they weren't what I would class as a convention as such. It was more comic mart. It was people selling comics and things like that. So I guess what I wanted from you, Andy, and from the chat, what's your earliest memory of going to a con or a fair? So for me, it was going to Newcastle to a little church where they'd used the church hall to convert it into just stalls and tables. There was no celebrities there. There was no comic book writers or artists or anything like that. There was certainly nobody in cosplay or anything like that. It was literally just people selling rows and rows of comic books and cards. And I remember it was advertised. I don't know if you remember, it was a British magazine called Comics International or something, or
Oh
Comics.
yeah, I remember Comics
Yeah.
International. Yeah.
And I remember seeing it in there and saving for weeks, and I'd saved all my pocket money, and I had something like 20, 30 quid, which back then was the fortune. It was.
Baller.
Yeah, and I went and I bought just a shit ton of like 25 pence comics. And I came back with bags full of the bloody things. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. What's your earliest memory of a con?
So interestingly enough, these sort of comic convention booklets that you're showing there, I actually collect those.
All right.
Because these have really early cover artwork and interior artwork by some of the famous artists that I enjoy. The likes of Brian Boland done a lot of these. There's magazines called Speakeasy. You can actually go on the web at the minute, and you can download them all as PDFs. And some of the stories and the artwork in there, those are great. But that's a side conversation. I'll show some of those in the next show. My earliest, so I don't really remember going to a con as such when I was in Glasgow. But what I do remember is going to the Barrowlands, or the Barras, as we called it, which, for those that don't know, is a massive market in Glasgow at Parkhead. And I remember my dad taking me to it, and I would always venture to the same person who had a stall that was selling comics, not bagged or boldy, just loads and loads of comics. And that was the first, realization that I was collecting comics, because you'd go week on, week out to pick these up, and it wouldn't be for collecting, it would literally just be to read, and I would just read those, back to front over and over and over again. And believe it or not, a lot of it would be Superman. It would be Action Comics that I'd be reading. So that's my earliest memories, and I'd say that's what probably kick-started my joy, and then it sort of transcended and moved on to the likes of Forbidden Planet and things like that. So
it's strange, isn't it? Because you're absolutely right. The ones I used to go to was to buy comics to read, whereas these days a lot of it's all about the collecting. And it's making us smile looking at that London comic book convention, because that image there, I remember having that comic book. That's Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the Guardians of the Galaxy that I enjoyed far more than the version that we got in the movies,
Yeah.
Silver Surfer there with the quantum bands and stuff. Yeah, just love it. Let's just see what the chat are saying before we go on to the next slide. Connie, my first ever proper Comic Con was Thought Bubble. Wow. But I did go to the Belfast one on the Odyssey when I was like 15 to meet an actor from Harry Potter, and there was a photo of me, a guy who was. I think we've cut you out there. Oh, they're cosplaying Bane, and I had no idea who he was.
Belfast used to have a comic mart as well. I think it lasted for like 2 years, and it's always been my sort of wish or hope that I could organise with someone else to put on a Belfast comic mart every year, because I think it would be fantastic.
That's the next step. Next step. We're all comic mart.
The Rusty Mart. Is that
the Rusty Mart? Yeah. I had that. My favourite memory of any comic show was the comic mart that used to be at the Newcastle Uni. Yeah, so before it went to Newcastle Uni, it was in the church that I just mentioned. So we went from the church down the street to Newcastle Uni. Yeah, happy days. Great cons. I went to that one a number of times as well. Andrew, I wish I found cons younger, but I didn't go to one until I was about 26, and I only went to that to meet Captain Sisko. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Chris, I've never been to one until Darwin, where I met one of my heroes, and he let me buy a copy of Captain America 354. Yes, that was myself, Chris. Yes, and it was 20. Have they done that one since, Chris? I don't think I've seen that one since then. There's a canny little con. I got a massive version of Kingdom Come, I seem to remember. Jumped in the deep end. My first con was NYCCU 2015. Met Kevin Conroy and got his copy of Arkham City signed. Wow, that's a big one.
I've been to New York Comic Con. I went with a friend who was tabling at it, and I was lucky enough that I didn't have to, go in the queues and all that good stuff. But that was the year I met Mark Bagley, one of my heroes.
Yeah, I love
fantastic, absolutely amazing. It's a different. Those cons are just a absolute different world. And assuming you guys are going to be going to San Diego next year, that will be tremendous.
We are, and I guess I want to touch on that in a little bit, but we are going to San Diego, but I'm getting less and less excited about the con side of things because I'm hearing a lot of the American YouTubers that I talk to now and then talking about other cons, saying how good they are for comic books like Heroes Con and stuff like that, and that San Diego Comic Con isn't really...
See, I think your type of con is like a digging con. It's like it's almost like going downstairs to that shop in Dublin.
Yeah,
You know, loads of those kicking about. So yeah, maybe it's, I don't know.
We'll
But
see.
you have to go just to experience it.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I think I have to go to experience it, but I might want to go to another one. I didn't do Comic Cons until about 2017. My dad used to take us to a local comic club as a kid, but never a comic mart or anything. Yeah. Phil, Parkhead, lovely spot. Comic Deal, Sci-Fi Star Wars Convention in Maysfield, Leisure Centre, Belfast. My mum took me and my brothers. Distinctly remember meeting Jeremy Bullock and David Prowse. Wow. And buying a Boba Fett figure. That's pretty cool. That is very cool.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that story.
The World Fair was basically a convention that went around the world every year. That started in the 1800s.
Were you at it, Fuzzy?
I thought I was going to the first, but I did go to the second as far as I know. It took place in a church hall in London. Remember holding a copy of World's Best Comics #1. That was £400. Wow. Wayne, mine was a Star Trek con at the Royal Albert Hall about 28 years ago. I did a Star Trek con in Blackpool when I was about 18, I think. Got drunk.
Am I surrounded by Trekkies?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on?
Well, I ended up drinking with Murdoch from the 18, Dwight Schultz.
No way, seriously? I bet he's got a few stories.
Yeah. I don't remember much of it because I was about 17 or 18 and we decided was staying with my auntie and uncle who live in Preston along the road, but we discovered that the con had a big room where they were just playing episodes of Star Trek all night. Well, you could technically just sit in there, couldn't you? So we decided not to get a hotel room, just sleep in the room. So I was there for the full night. It was rough.
Brilliant.
I did QCon once in Queens and Belfast, and it was horrendous, but it's more anime, manga focused. Yeah.
I've done it once. I know the con that she's talking about. It's terrible.
It's awful. MCM Manchester, somewhere in 2019. I want to do Monster Palooza in Orlando. No, never heard of that one. Well, Christina, nice to see you, Christina. Hope you're well. I met Alan Grant's brother-in-law at the Comic Mart in Newcastle. I gave him my address for a few years. I would get some signed Lobo comics in the post. Very nice. Cool. Andrew, last con I went to was in 2015. Every time I try and get back into one, something gets in the way. Probably it's a good idea because I went mad at the last big one. I went, yeah, that's the danger. You can spend an awful lot. Terrificon, that's the one. I think, is that just been recently made? Because there's one they've just been to recently in the States, which looks superb.
Whereabouts in the States is Terrificon?
I can't remember, but I just know a friend of mine, panel patron of Comic Art, has just been to a one, and so is Luke's Journey into Thunder, and it looked, I think that was Heroes Con, or it might have been Terrificon.
I've heard the Heroes Con, that's might have been fantastic, yeah.
I'd love to see more comic stuff happening in Belfast. It seems like there's no appetite for it, but no one's willing to actually do something about it. Yeah, me and Andy will sort it.
I'm on it.
Christina, reminding people to hit that thumbs up. Thank you very much, Christina. I do appreciate that. Got 21 people watching. Please do hit that like and subscribe. I'm publishing a Star Trek fan club magazine this weekend. You're definitely surrounded by Trekkies. Ooh, let me know what that is, Andrew. We'll promote that for you, bud. Andy's a big fan.
Well,
and we will.
I'm only joking, Andrew. I'm only joking.
A lot of states have multiple cons throughout the year. We'll always have a big name comic creator, just aren't as known as San Diego Comic Con NYCC. Yeah. Stax is a big fan of Heroes, isn't he? Not sure what that is, Chris. You name a con, Terrificon, then has to be pretty good. It certainly does. Yeah. Luke dropped a video from Terrificon. Yeah, it might be there then. That must be where they were talking about. So yeah, that's my first con. And then we'll get into more modern cons. And I guess we've got two distinct types, haven't we? We've got the Comic Mart that we've been to this weekend, which I want to talk a little bit about in a few slides' time. Then we've got the big ones. We've got the San Diego Comic Cons. We've got now everywhere's got a con. So Newcastle's got a number of different cons with different guests appearing. There's a whole host of MCU ones. Comic Con Scotland, and they all seem to focus on celebrities, celebrity signings, all that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on these, Andy? Are these the kind of cons you enjoy going to, or do you prefer more the comic mart?
So, I guess a little bit of a mixture of both. I'm not one for meeting humans, but celebrities. It's not something that I would. I think I posed the question when we were in London. Who would be the person that I would actually go and get an autograph from, or want to get a selfie or whatever? So I'm even from Northern Ireland Comic Con. I'll probably go. I haven't been to any of the other ones, but just because maybe James or Sean are going, or Phil's going, or Connie. But the Comic Con Scotland I did have a look at, and I thought that looked quite interesting. I know that you've got HorrorCon the week before or after it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not really. I would just go just for the vibe and just for the crack, and it would really depend. I wouldn't go myself. It would just depend who's going with me, because it would be less about the con and more about just the social experience of meeting up with people.
I think you're right, and I think the thing that I've come to realise over the last 2-3 years is that these events, these big events like the Birmingham ones and all that kind of stuff, these aren't what I would class as comic cons. These are celebrity events. The last big one we did down in Manchester or Birmingham, I can't remember which one it was. There was 1 or 2 comic sellers. The rest of it was all kind of pops and Funkos and celebrities and things, which is fine. And like you, I'm trying to think who I would want to see at a con, who my ideal guest would be, whether it would be someone from the comics industry or an actor or something like that. Yeah. I think for me, it's absolutely about who I'm going with rather than who I'm going to see these days. Because, I know some people in the chat, like James, for example, James Keegan, likes to go and see some of these celebrities and get his photo or get signatures from them. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily appeal to me. But I would go with James to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Just for the crack and stuff. I think at Northern Ireland Comic Con, the only one that really caught my eye was Mick Foley, just because when I was watching wrestling, that he was, that famous fight with him and the Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, what a fight. I'd go and see him for the crack and maybe get an autograph, but apart from that, no, probably not. Love to go to San Diego Comic Con for obvious reasons, because I haven't been. 1 year I will. But I'd like to do like an American road trip. So you maybe start one destination, go to a few shops, because I think the shops and going into all those little shops and stuff like that would be much more interesting than the destination of the con at the end.
Yeah.
I think that's on my bucket list to do that at some point.
The problem with that is that America's just so vast. When we did Florida, we did a few comic shops, Golden Apple, and was it Golden Apple? Can't remember. We did 3 or 4 comic shops, and I have to say, I thought the prices was astronomical, but that was probably because they were in like Florida. We did come across like a little old toy shop, which was great. But I think you probably want to get out of like you say, a proper road trip out of the touristy type places to some of these more local places,
100%.
But yeah, so cons have changed massively, I think, over the years. One of the big things that's happened is obviously the popularity of cosplay. And I was wondering, Andy, would you ever cosplay? Is this something you would ever get into?
You asked me all the deep questions there, Peter. I would. If only just to hide this face, to be honest with you, and so that nobody would be able to see me and I'd have very little interactions. It would definitely be something that I'd consider. I've always wanted to do like a Star Wars character, but I've just been so self-conscious that I don't think... Yeah, I'm self-conscious without a mask on, but with a mask on, I'd be even more so. But yeah, I'd love to give it a go, but it'd have to be something like full-on, like Chewbacca type thing that I'd need to be having on. Sweating.
It's a real interesting one. So let us know in the comments if you guys would ever cosplay, and if you would, who would you want to cosplay as? The first time, I'm not opposed to dressing up, as you probably know, but the first time I ever cosplayed was when I went to HorrorCon, and I dressed up as a horror character, and I was nervous as hell. I have to say, nervous as hell. Didn't feel comfortable at all, but I just did it for shits and giggles, really. And I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a very strange feeling. People coming up to you and asking you for a photo, and stopping you kind of in the main
And
halls and
that was
stuff.
just in London. That was just at the
That was
Comic
just
Mart.
London, but it was really strange, and there's definitely a kind of a there's definitely a dopamine rush, I think. Very funny, Andy. So yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting. It's not something I think I would rush to do again, but it is, I think, a new element to cons. That
What would you
wasn't around.
cosplay as, Peter, is the
Blob.
question.
The Blob.
The who?
The Blob.
The sexy blob.
No, I don't know. I honestly don't. Andrew was just saying I would wear my Starfleet uniform. Yeah, I've got a Starfleet uniform, actually. And I have worn that on a few occasions. Semi-retired PhD. How dare you? How dare. I'd have to go as a fella because women's costumes are ridiculously skin tight and no one needs to say, oh, bless you, Connie. Bless you. But yeah, it's interesting. But we have been to London Comic Mart recently, and I've discovered toy fairs relatively recently, and this is a new experience. So I felt last year in particular I was starting to lose the will to live with these big cons, and because they just didn't sell stuff that I was interested in. And then I discovered proper toy fairs, and I'm finding that I'm absolutely loving going to them. Just takes us an hour or so. You go in, you walk around, have a bit of rummage, normally pick up some bits and bobs, and that's it. There's no fanny on, there's no cosplay, there's no, it's just fun. So that's the one in Gateshead Gateshead Stadium at the bottom there. Really enjoy that one. And then we went to the London Comic Mart, as I've said. Absolutely blown away by that, Andy. I'm going to come to you in a second to see what you think about it, but that blew me away for the volume of stalls, the amount of comics on display, the fact that you could go and get your 10 pence, 25 pence comics in one box, and then you had X-Men 1, on the wall to your right, I would say there was some pops and things there, but it was predominantly comic books. And I have to say, the other thing you've just got to be very cautious of is some of these stalls are people who are just collectors and are just thinning the collection by selling a few books there and then. Some of them are professional sellers. This is their job. This is their life. Some of them are batshit crazy and are selling books that I would consider way above price. I mean, I've not done any research, so I might be totally out of my I might be talking crap here, but there's a image there of a guy who had everything in Mylar, which makes it look nice, but he had the living mummy, the monster Frankenstein. You can't see the prices there, but that Frankenstein was like 195 quid or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure can it be that? I mean, I've got that book. Can it be that much? And yes, comic deals just put there is a definite, for some of the sellers and some of the areas, there was a definite aroma of feisty old comics and trousers. But I thought it was phenomenal. And I picked up a few bits and bobs, not necessarily there, but some stuff to show off. And Andy, I know you've got some stuff to show off as well. But what did you think of these events, this Comic Mart? Is it something you would recommend people go to?
100%. I think if you haven't been before, you definitely have to go to experience it. I think a lot of what I heard before we went was that, you'd be 20 minutes, 30 minutes at tops, and that would be it finished. But that definitely wasn't the case. Like, I could have spent a lot longer in there.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that stopped me from doing that, and I guess you live and learn, is dragging the bag about. Like, I had my backpack because we were catching a flight a few hours later. It was 1 billion degrees. The nearest ATM to the hotel that this is in is 15-minute walk away, so that's a 30-minute there and back. And
actually, sorry, Andy, to interrupt. That's a great point as well. A lot of these stores didn't take card, so you're wise to take some cash with you to these kind of events as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cash is king with these guys as well. So I found that a bit of a challenge as well. And like, I picked up I put my stuff up on Instagram. It was a really small haul that I had got, but I guess I thought it was great. I definitely want to go again. I think it would be something I would do again. But I'd be interested to see other type of comic marts that are about the UK and Ireland, to go to those, just to say I've experienced them. And I'd like to go to London again with actual physical cash in my wallet and not a big heaving bag on my back, annoying everybody.
So I think you're absolutely right. I underestimated how much I would enjoy the art. People had said to us, "Oh, you pop in and have a quick look," and all the rest of it. This should have probably been a bigger focus for me. I would have probably preferred to have booked the night in the hotel that night,
100%.
so I wasn't pulling my bag around, and I would have focused on taking some money to buy some books that were there.
Or take books with you to trade, like.
Yeah.
That's the one, because all those the guy that you were talking about that had all your stuff in the milers, that was the first one that I went to. So I was specifically looking for the 1972 copy of Demon Issue #1, the Jack Kirby cover. That's the only book that I was on the lookout for, and I think I must have asked maybe 6 or 7 of the stall owners, and they were like, "No, we don't have it." But like that Legion of Monsters is another book that I want to pick up as well. But again, you're talking 180, I think you wanted for that book. No.
Yeah. It's pricey, very, very pricey.
Yeah.
I had that. When you go to a Comic-Con, do you have a budget in mind or not? I'm going to a big toy show in Birmingham. Oh, nice, next month, and trying to decide how much cash to take. That's a really hard question, mate, and it depends on what your personal budget is, I guess. I always make sure I've got at least £100 in my pocket cash, because I know these places don't often take cash. But I tend, if it's a big con or something like that, I tend to save up beforehand so I know what I've got in the bank, as it were.
I would say it's actually probably less about what your budget is, and it's more about what are the things that you're looking to actually pick up. So is there 2 or 3 things that you really want to pick up on it, and then knowing what their value is. So what is the fair market value of those items, and that will give you an idea of how much money you need to take so that you don't spend over that.
I have to say, Wi-Fi and eBay is your friend at these kind of events. I tend to have a look at stuff and then I'll do a quick search and see what price I can get it for elsewhere. I will often be happy to pay a couple of quid more at a fair than eBay. Do you know what I mean? So just because I find something a £5 cheaper on eBay doesn't mean I'm going to buy it from there. But it's good to just get a ballpark figure, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okie dokie, guys. So that brings what on to prices, I guess. And some of the prices here were a little bit crazy, but it did make us think that the variety of sellers was superb. We had people who, like I've said, this was their life, this was the business. But there was also an awful lot of little sellers who were people like, I think, like myself, Andy, probably a lot of the people who are watching tonight, who are just collectors who've got boxes of books and things. And I just decided to hire a table, pop down and sell some books. So I guess what I wanted to know, Andy, is this something you would ever fancy doing? Do you ever fancy going to a little mart and selling some comics?
So I was very close to doing it at Enniskillen Comic Fest, which is the yearly sort of almost like a celebration of all things British comics 2000 AD that happens in Fermanagh. And I think I am going to try and do it next year, because I think the more you go to these things, especially in Enniskillen, you see some of the tables and what people are selling. It's like, God, if they can do it, then you can do it. And like you wouldn't, especially the 2000 AD side of things, because the amount of duplicates that I have, you know, you may as well, you know, try and see if you can sell them. I think it's a lot. It sounds a lot easier than what it probably is. And I guess unless you actually physically speak to people who do that, you know, all the prep work, all the pricing, you know, all that good stuff that goes along with it. But yeah, it'd definitely be something that I would consider doing, yeah.
I think I was talking to Ed Vick about this when we were sat having a coffee, and I was thinking, in principle, I'd love to do it. But then I'll start worrying about the amount of effort you have to put in, because you have to make sure you've got, you know, we've just talked about cash. You have to make sure you've got the little sum up machines or whatever to you know, price everything. Then I can't be chewed with bartering with people and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I do think my long-term goal was always, how I used to vision my future was, when I retire, to have a little stall in a market somewhere selling comics and toys and selling my bits of collection, you know.
Smelling a piss. Yeah.
Smelling a piss. I do that now. So I could do that. I could do that. Sorrel is just saying, after 6 years of collecting toys and doing YouTube, I had so much stuff. Me and the wife did several Comic Cons as sellers to sell some stuff on and to make a bit of cash. It was really fun for a while. Table prices are a bit insane. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I've heard that you can spend a fortune on just a table. Why don't you do some of the mini cons I go to? I can ask the organisers, send them your way. That would be interesting. That would be very cool. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff in the con scene. But overall, I still enjoy going to a con. I enjoy going to having a rummage around. I think you're the same, aren't you, Andy?
I thought it was great, yeah. And speaking of spec and stuff like that, I did manage to pick up a couple of books for £2 each and then flip them very quickly on eBay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it the Doom cover?
The two Doom covers, yeah. And I don't feel that one bit bad about it, to be honest with you. So the guy did say to me, "Do you like this cover?" Because he looked at me and growled at me because he realised what the prices were that he left them for. Because everybody else had them on the back wall, and I was just like, "Oh, right, I'll take those." So yeah, that's one thing, but that I enjoy is try to find a bargain and make some of your money back. So. Yeah. And we had to make some of our money back, the amount of money we spent in Weatherspoons.
Tell us about it, It wasn't Weatherspoons, wasn't the killer, it was the bloody everywhere else. IG Creator Showcase. I think we've got one for you this week, and it's Andy. Oh, look at that. Is that yours?
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah. So this is a creator that I've been following for quite a long time on Instagram. It's Pete Carroll. He goes by the Instagram handle of Art of Carroll, and you can see some of the artwork that they do there. He's got a website called ghostfromtheattic.com. And the thing that sort of drew me into what he does is the prices. So these are fairly inexpensive at like £50-60 each if you can get them. But I would recommend that if you're into these sorts, especially some of the Masters of the Universe, I thought that'd be right up your street, Peter.
It is. It's stunning.
If you're able to get these when they drop, because as soon as they drop, people are on it, just because they're so affordable. I just think some of the artwork looks fantastic, really clean, and would display really, really well. And I'm just so surprised guys like this aren't doing comic covers like for the the big three at least. But what do you think, Peter?
I think it's stunning. Like? I'm loving that. So the Skeletor and the Scareglow look absolutely phenomenal. Does he do blank covers or are these prints, Andy?
Do you know? I don't know. I haven't been in touch with him, to be perfectly honest with you. I think what we'll do is, like that we've done the last show, is we'll art and take a little screen grab of this. But yeah, I would sure he takes commissions, and whatever medium you want him to do it on, he would. But yeah, a nice Masters of the Universe cover would be amazing on this.
Yeah, I'm liking them. I love his style. It's so
clean, isn't it? The colours.
This is what blows my mind, but in terms of how you see some of the comic art we see, and you think, oh, and then you see stuff like this, and you think, how are these guys not doing covers, interiors? It's yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely jump on that. Chris is saying that Skeletor is lovely. I had that. I need to downsize my collection, but at the same time, I hate seeing how some people handle comics. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Be extremely stressed watching people pull my comics out of the boxes.
That's a really good point. Like their grubby fingers and then bending them, and couldn't handle.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of grubby fingers, Peter literally licking his lips. Yeah. Imagine James flicking through your comics. There'll be cheese spread all over it. And I think I like me too chill to selling at a con. I want books to be loved and to be read, so I'd give them away to people as cheap as chips. Yeah, see, I think I might be the same, Connie. Can I be chewed with negotiation? Especially some of the covers you see, I'd pay more money to own a piece of art like that than some of the crap you see in the shops. Absolutely. Yep. On his Insta, looks like he did a Battle Beast #1 cover. That was his first comic art. Wow, nice.
There we go.
I'll have to check that out. Okie dokie, guys. That's it. Rusty Staples is done for episode 3. Just under 2 hours. We've got the giveaway, though, so let's get that on screen. Last few seconds, ladies and gents. #V. And we'll give away this copy of V for Vendetta. So whilst you are doing that, last few seconds for #V. Andy, do you have any books you want to show off? And do you want me to make you big?
No. Okay. Yes, I do have books, and no, in that order. So I have a handful of books here. I'm gonna start nice and easy, gentle. Look at that whole lot of Batman, Wizard magazine, Simon Bisley, the Master, doing his rendition of Batman. Guys, this was a trip down memory lane reading this Wizard magazine. I absolutely adored these things when I was getting into comics. And and you should definitely check out some of the issues because they've got some fantastic cover art. You know,
Have
I'm a
you-
Simon Bisley fan, so
Have you got a Wizard one? So I picked up
yes.
a Wizard one rather
Yeah.
recently. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Another Wizard magazine that I picked up, and this
Oh,
is
that's nice.
Brian Boland artwork. So another one of my favourites. So I couldn't resist that for a quid.
That's
you know,
a nice
it's
cover. Yeah.
cheap as chips. Got this book from a certain gentleman who surprised me with this at London Comic Mart. Again, this is just a representation of the person who listens, and when you're talking about something, obviously he was good enough to pass this on. So thank you very much, Peter. I really, really appreciate it. Next one up, I got another copy of Prophet. So this is a fairly hard to come by cover from Todd McFarlane. So picked up, this is the B cover for issue number 1. And now these are fairly rare books from Jenny. I've not said this, Jenny Frison. So this is the first one. This was on my top 5 covers to get for this year. So I've knocked off another one. This is Hack Slash, My First Maniac, issue number 1. This is the cover B by Jenny Frison. There was also I think a second and maybe a third print of this that came out, but this is the first print cover, and this is in really, really good nick. So I picked this up on eBay.
That's a lovely cover.
Yeah, so delighted to have that in the PC.
Still not read a lot of Hack Slash.
It's good read. Yeah. Artwork's good as well, and the interiors. Another really difficult Jenny Frison cover to come by is this one, Hack Slash: The Return of Phantoma. This again is another great copy. Got this on eBay, and this will be going straight into the Jenny Frison PC. Nice. 2 big boy books. I think I've mentioned this previously. I don't know if it's on Rusty Staples, but they eventually arrived. And I must say that they're in better condition than what I anticipated and what I was told. So I got Batman Beyond.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Issue number 1. This is a real contender for a 9.8, a real contender with a pressing clean. So if I build up the courage to send this on, this might be one that I get graded.
I would definitely get that graded, Andy. Batman Beyond for me is the Miles of DC. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think at some point we're going to get a Batman Beyond movie. Yeah. Great character.
So my plan was to get it graded and put it alongside my Bruce Timm AOA original art that I got. And then the last one, and dare I say it, the biggest book, and again, this is another 9.8 contender. I was blown away by the quality of this. First Harlequin.
Sexy. Yeah.
So I went all out this last couple of weeks just picking up books. Quality over quantity. I say quality over quantity, but I still got all my normal trash as well that I like just because of cover buys. But nice. This is one for the PC that will be staying with me, and again a real contender. So that was my books for this 2 weeks.
Very nice. I picked up because I'm crazy about 5 copies of this. This is History of the DC Universe, blank. So I picked up a load of those. I don't know why. These are all books that I've picked up recently, but are going to go in the giveaway box. So we've got, thought you might have got one. Sectors, number 1, Warriors. That's quite a nice condition book as well.
That's nice. So
great old series. First appearance of Bloodstone, so the original Bloodstone, Ulysses Bloodstone. So that's quite a nice one. We've got a Dazzler, first appearance of the Dazzler.
Wow, that's going in the giveaway box.
Yeah, but for the giveaways. That's quite a nice one. Do you know who this is the first appearance of? Sorry, bit of glare.
Reflection. I feel as if I should, but I don't.
First appearance of Jubilee. So that's going on the giveaway.
And if somebody wants to be a member, I believe they get 7 books in the giveaway.
They certainly do.
How does everybody become a member?
I don't know. Go on. It's on me thing. I don't know.
Jesus, I lined it up and he sold it beautifully.
I can't remember if I've showed this one off or not. I think I might have, but I can't remember. But this is for me. This is Simon Furnish, who's he's a guy who goes to a few cons and does covers, and he had that on for sale. I cannot believe that. I mean, I only paid about 40, 50 quid or something like that. I cannot believe that that's artwork. It looks amazing.
It looks like almost like oil painting.
Yeah.
Like oil.
So, I mean, just absolutely stunning. The colour work on it is beautiful. He had a load of black and white sketches that he'd done as well. But I just loved that. Absolutely loved it. I've been in touch with him and asked him if when he's next got slots to let us know, because I want some more. But I think
is he on Instagram?
Yeah, well, I'll have a look for his next for him. We'll do it next show.
Yeah, do next show. Yeah,
because I think that's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Class.
Okie dokie. Right, let's have a little look see at the comments before we move on. Ed's very jealous of those last two. Been on the list for a while. Great grabs. That's for your first Harley Quinn. Superb book. Superb. Ed Jubilee. I'm glad you're happy, Ed. I have a slab of that book that I picked up in your auction a good wee while ago. Looks very cool on my bookshelf. Good stuff, Connie. Pleased. Jubilee first appearance. Okie dokie. Right. Are we ready? Are we set? Let's give away V for Vendetta. Good luck, everybody. And tonight's winner is hopefully someone that's not got a copy of it. Our winner tonight is... Boom! Joshy Boy Toys. Good stuff, Joshy Boy Toys. Drop us a line on Instagram and I will send you this and a few other comic books as well. So drop us a line on Instagram, Joshy. Congratulations, you have won a copy of V for Vendetta. Andy, that's your whack. We are done. We are done at exactly 2 hours. Exactly 2 hours. That's not bad going, is it?
I can't be the only one that's sweating.
My bits have got pools of water around them. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I am hot. I am hot. Hot damn. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody who's been in the chat. We love the fact that you're all commenting away here. It's always good stuff. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate you spending some time with us. Andy, a pleasure as always. Thank you for doing the lion's share of the slides. It is appreciated because I know full well pulling slides together can be a bit of a chore. So I do appreciate your work.
Pleasure is all mine, boss. Pleasure is all mine.
Good stuff. And with that, we'll call it a night. Night, night, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
The curtains close. It's time to go. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Check out my channel for more geeky fun and hit like, subscribe before you run. All that remains is our thanks to you from Triple G and his YouTube crew. We really do hope you come on back, but for now, that's your whack. Yeah, that's your whack.